start.
Yes.
Should not wait. Okay. Okay. So, good morning, everyone. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all to Gyaniki Tech Talk session. It is our 59th episode, and I am very much thankful to you for making it on this Saturday morning. Let me give you introduction about Gyaniki. Gyaniki is a newly launched and a unique technology platform which offers an extensive online repository to help students, professionals, and EV enthusiasts to understand with the future market into the mobility ecosystem. The Gyaniki database also covers manufacturers, suppliers, technologies, and key players in the mobility sector, including electric, autonomous, ADAS, connected, and the shared mobility. Additionally, Gyaniki provides comprehensive training programs across various mobility domains. Our new platform includes sections specifically designed for electric vehicle and the future mobility enthusiasts, offering a wealth of information aligned with the industry standards. And I am truly honored to introduce our distinguished guest and speaker for today, a highly respected figure in the field of automotive engineering and academics, Dr. Kamal Vora. Welcome, sir. Good morning. So, let me give a brief introduction about him. Dr. Vora is known for their expertise in automotive engineering, and their contributions have significantly advanced both academic and practical aspects of the discipline. Dr. K.C. Vora is a professor of practice and former senior deputy director at the Automotive Research Association of India, former CEO of COEP's Bhau Institute of Innovation, chair of the Automotive Skills Development Council India Expert Group on EV, and advisor to BAJA SAEINDIA. His extensive experience and insights will provide valuable guidance and inspiration for those looking to make their mark in the EV and automotive sectors. Dr. Vora is a dedicated educator. They have mentored countless students, guiding them not only in their academic pursuits but also in their professional development. Many of their former students have gone on to achieve great success, which is a testament to Dr. Vora's commitment to nurturing the next generation of engineers. Today, he will be sharing insights on career opportunities in EV and automotive industry. Their experience and expertise make them uniquely qualified to address this subject. And I have no doubt that we will all leave here today with a deeper understanding and a great appreciation for it. So please join me and giving a warm welcome to Dr. Kamal Vora. Sir, over to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Manas. And it's a privilege to join today to speak on career opportunities in EV and automotive industry in this Gyaniki Tech Talk. So am I audible and am I visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So today I'm going to speak on career opportunities. And you know that automotive industry is a very big industry. It contributes to around 8 to 9% of the GDP of the nation. And when you say automotive industry, it's two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, buses, tractor manufacturer. And we call them as OEM, original equipment manufacturer. And they are all represented in SIAM, Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturer. Then there are component manufacturers. More than 60% of the parts of the automobile are manufactured by this component manufacturer represented through ECMA, that is Automotive Component Manufacturers Association. And they supply components to automotive industry OEM, and they assemble it and then they sell it in the market through dealers. So there is a upstream and downstream, there is a big business. For example, when any automobile or component needs to be manufactured, then we require support of mining, steel, metal. We require a lot of fuels, plastic, rubber, glass, software, hardware. All these things are required upstream. And downstream, when the vehicle is ready, then we need a market to sell it, whether it is an aftermarket or a used car market, or it is supply of fuel. And then there are the adjacent industry like finance, legal, and other. So automotive and allied industry is a very big industry and contributes a lot to the development of the nation. The automotive industry is supported by Ministry of Heavy Industry, and it is also governed by Ministry of Transport. So this Ministry of Heavy Industry, in association with ECMA and SIAM, develop a 10-year plan. So the first plan which was developed was from 2006 to 2016, where we were 11th largest passenger vehicle manufacturer and we became the 6th largest passenger vehicle manufacturer. And then the next plan of 2016 to 2026 is the next plan where we have three magic numbers. That is 3, 12, and 65. That means we will be the third largest passenger vehicle manufacturer in the world. The contribution towards nation GDP would be 12%, and there would be an additional employment of 65 million people in this 10-year by 2026. So that was the target, and obviously the exports, the revenue, everything is expected to increase multi-fold. So and what we can see today that we are in 2024, another 2 years to go, but India has already become the third largest passenger vehicle manufacturer in the world after China and US. And our contribution towards GDP is moving towards 10, and by 2026 it will move towards 12. That is what I would say. So there is a very feel-good factor that automotive industry is growing very well in India. Our sale and export of vehicle are also going very high. So there are certain challenges which we must understand in terms of health. Automobile can create health hazards through emission like CO, SC, NOx, and particulate matter. And from environment point of view, a lot of carbon dioxide is being released by the tailpipe, which can lead to global warming. You must have already felt the effect in last 2 years, couple of years. It has been very hot in summer. And if this continues, then maybe by 2030, it would be very difficult for us to survive with temperature around 50 degrees C. So we need to reduce this global warming, and hence we need to reduce the tailpipe emission, specifically the CO2 emission. And that's what we are all working towards it. So one of the best method to reduce the CO2 emission would be to shift towards electric mobility. Similarly, we need to work towards sustainability. We need to stop using petrol, diesel, and move towards renewable source of energy like solar, wind, and we must become energy sufficient. So we must be able to use our own energy. We need not import anything. We must become self-sustainable. We must become Atmanirbhar. So these challenges are something which we are moving forward. And we must also understand what are the current scenario. For example, economically, the crude petroleum prices are going up, and more than 60% of the crude petroleum is coming from outside, which we refine, distillate, and convert into LPG, gasoline, diesel, kerosene, and so on. And we need to reduce our dependency on this. Similarly, more and more people are shifting towards city. It is said that by 2050, more than 50% of the human population would be in cities. So we need to stop people moving towards city, but city gives more livelihood and affordability, or we must develop more cities. And I think that is what we are doing. We are developing more smart cities so that the human population is dispersed, and along with it, the vehicle population is also dispersed. It is very alarming to understand that in cities like Pune, the population of vehicle has outnumbered the population of human being. And that's very alarming, and hence we need to work towards it. We need to divert this. We need to work on last mile mobility so that there is no traffic congestion, there is no high pollution, and there are no health hazards. Similarly, from environment point of view, we need to understand that the global warming is a big picture, and we need to reduce not only the CO, SC, NOx, and particulate emission, but also CO2 emission. So that is a big challenge to reduce CO2 emission and reduce global warming, and we are all working towards it. Sustainability is the word which is very important. And we are committed to Kyoto Protocol for reduction of greenhouse gases across 41 countries by more than 5%. So to do this, we need various policies. Our think tank, Niti Aayog, has been making various policies. One such policy to support electric mobility is FAME, faster adoption and manufacture of electric and hybrid vehicle in India. And that is the real motivation. You would be surprised to know that we produce more than 25 million vehicles per year. So it is estimated in 2024, we would be producing 19 million two-wheelers, more than 4 million passenger vehicles, and around 1 million commercial vehicles and 1 million three-wheelers. So with more than 25 million vehicles being produced every year, and with more than 300 million vehicles running on Indian road, we have a very strong responsibility. And we have also set our eyes on becoming energy independent by 2047. So we will not import any energy after 2047. We have to become Atmanirbhar, and we will achieve net zero. That means there won't be any carbon dioxide emission emitted by 2070. That is what is the target. So at one side, a very big automotive industry. At second side, our responsibility to become energy independent and become net zero. Together, it gives a very good opportunity for all of us to work in this field of automotive engineering and also EV. So let's look what is the present need of the hour. So I already talked to you about the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision. We talked about greenhouse gas mitigation, reduction of CO2 emission. And we also talked about Kyoto and Paris Protocol. And if we are able to take care of all these things, we are here to boost the Indian economy. So there is an acronym called ACES, that is Mega Trends in Mobility. Everything fine, Manas?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue. Yeah.
I think there is some
Participants kindly
disturbance.
mute. No, no, let me.
I will request everyone.
Participants, please mute yourself.
Okay. So there is a famous acronym called ACES used in automotive engineering. A stands for autonomous vehicle, C stands for connected vehicle, E stands for electric vehicle, and S stands for shared mobility. These are the four important letters for automotive engineering or in the field of mobility, and we all need to work towards it. One such is electric mobility, which we have caught up and we are moving very fast. So electric vehicles have become the changing face of mobility in India. And you can see that if we want to use a sustainable electric mobility, instead of using the coal-powered energy, we must use energy which is through wind, solar, hydro, nuclear power. So these are sustainable form of energy which will make our carbon dioxide emission almost negligible. So we all need to work towards this. Indian government has been working towards certification of vehicle, and electric vehicle certification work started somewhere in 1999. And by now, almost all the standards or Indian automotive standards, that is AIS, automotive Indian standards, automotive industry standards have been developed, whether it is related to testing and certification of electric vehicle, hybrid vehicle, charging stations, e-retrofit kit, and battery swapping are all set and ready for usage and certification. So when we talk about certification of vehicle, there is a good scope there where two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler needs to be certified. The individual components of electric vehicle like motor, battery also needs to be individually certified, and then the vehicle as a whole. And whether it is electric vehicle, hybrid vehicle, fuel cell vehicle, or alternate fuel vehicle, or hydrogen vehicle, we all have standards which we need to comply. And not just one agency. There are now 10 agencies like ARAI which can test and certify vehicles. I talked to you about Niti Aayog and its support towards sustainability. We started working on electric mobility somewhere in 1999, as I told you, and the first National Council for Electric Mobility was formed in 2011, and the first National Electric Mobility Plan was released in 2013, and which said that what will we be by 2020. Then came FAME, faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles in India in 2015, which was later further refined and released in 2021. And now very soon, FAME 3 would be released. There has been a strong support towards charging infrastructure. There has been a strong support towards supporting industry who wants to work on batteries, motors, and other areas. So Indian government has laid down certain targets to support electric mobility. Today, I must tell you, the penetration of electric two and three wheeler is around 7%, and the penetration of electric four wheeler, that is the passenger car, is around 2%, just 2%. However, the penetration of three wheeler has been very high, as high as 50%. So it is expected that by 2030, in the next 6 years, the penetration of electric two and three wheeler would be more than 80%. And the penetration of electric cars would be more than 30%. And the penetration of electric buses also would be more than 40%. So if we look forward to this scenario, then there is a very good scope to work in automotive industry, and that too specifically in the EV industry. But I would put a word of caution saying that, yes, you must be a master of automotive engineering if you want to work in this field, and you can be a jack of EV, but India is a land of diversity. We have people with different language and people with different religion. Similarly, we must not be dependent on just one technology. We must have all type of diversity of technology being used, like diversified fuel, petrol, diesel, CNG, LPG, biodiesel, ethanol, methanol, electric vehicle, hybrid vehicle, hydrogen fueled vehicle, and fuel cell vehicle. So there is a big scope to work in all area and diversify so that we are not dependent in one area. But as on today, it looks that electric vehicle has a big scope, and in time to come by 2030, we would be able to realize that how are we moving towards it, and whether we must continue at the same pace or change our direction. So there has to be an ecosystem development. Our government has been working very strong through Ministry of Heavy Industry, through Niti Aayog, and through Ministry of Transport and Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship on ensuring that we are able to develop a very strong ecosystem towards electric vehicle and e-mobility. So whether it is charging infrastructure or favorable regulations, customer awareness, and more education and skill development programs in EV, availability of finance, not only to the buyers, but also to the manufacturer, and support to OEM suppliers and dealers, and support to startups and new entrants. All this together will make e-mobility ecosystem better and stronger. So today we have more than 100 EV manufacturers in the world. But if I take the top 50, then there are 22 established like Tata Motors, Mahindra, Maruti, and two-wheelers like TVS, Bajaj, Hero. These are all established basis manufacturers. They have also started manufacturing electric vehicles. Then we have more startups coming up like Ether Energy, Ola, and there are more than 100 startups who are working in this field of 2, 3, and 4-wheeler. And together we form a very big infrastructure in the field of electric mobility. So these are some of the companies you can see who has come forward to support government in manufacturing of electric and hybrid vehicle. So whether they are components or whether they are the entire vehicle, there are many manufacturers who are working towards it. And this ecosystem has developed very well, whether it is two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, or buses. And there are many players now who have shown interest to diversify in the EV segment. So the supplier base needs to be stronger. We call this as a value chain, and component manufacturers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, there is a need for lithium ion, there is a need for cells, there is a need for magnet, there is a need for different types of electric motor and controllers. So all this is happening, and a very good ecosystem is being developed to support the electric mobility. So the current scenario of electric mobility is very good, and the way the production and the sale is happening, specifically in two and three wheeler, it is showing that we are moving in the right direction. So with this background of electric mobility becoming stronger in Indian scenario and our exports also increasing in this field, if we look at the World Economics Forum study, it says that by 2020, it says by 2025, 84% of the jobs are going to become redundant. That means what you and me have studied up till now may become redundant, and hence we need to reskill ourselves. So reskilling is a new mantra, and for that we need to understand what are the skill gaps. So there were a skill gap study done, and it was found that there are top 10 industries where the skill gap is very high. And in this, the top two were infrastructure and automotive components. That is, a lot of buildings and factories are being built where we require civil and structural engineer and architects. There is a big skill gap there. And in terms of automotive and automotive components also, there is a big skill gap. So India needs a lot of people who can work in this field to make automotive and automotive component manufacture expand. So we need to work towards skill development. Today, there is insufficient capacity of skill development. We need to mobilize them. We need to scale them up. We need to ensure that all these skill mismatch gaps are filled up. So we need a 360-degree approach skill development. So whether it is online, whether it is offline, whether they are seminar, webinar, workshops, train the trainer program, but we need to ensure that the knowledge and the skill are blended together. So when I say knowledge, it is AICT, All India Institute of Technical Education, which gives degree like diploma, degree, post-graduation and PhD. And when we say skill, it is ASDC, Automotive Skill Development Council, where hands-on experiences become very important. So various agencies have worked on this skill development initiatives. Companies like McKinsey, Randstad, ASDC, and they have found that there is a very big destructive technology which are driving the need to bridge the gap in the workforce competency. And one of the major area is the reskilling. So there is a need for bridging the skill gap and working on reskilling. And if we are able to ensure that we are able to reskill our present workforce towards newer technology, then that would be a great step. So a lot of analysis has gone into the potential of skilling and its impact on jobs and career. And it is sometimes it may be altogether a new skill for a person, and sometimes it will be just reskilling, for example, from IC engine to electric mobility. So there has been a national education policy, NEP 2020, which says that we need to work towards sustainable development and we need to have quality education not only in terms of technical knowledge, but also hands-on. So skill development has been given a very strong role now under National Education Policy 2020. And that is the reason why ASDC and AICTE joined hands together since 2023. And both of them are working together to ensure that knowledge and skill move hand in hand, and hence we need to do various training program, various qualification packs have been developed, various events have been surfaced like BAHA, where we give very good exposure to the students in this field so they become ready made for the automotive and allied industry. New qualification packs are developed, like additive manufacturing, automation and robotics, cyber security, smart manufacturing, data science, IoT, EV technology, EV battery swapping, flex fuel, design related to safety, and so on. All these qualification packs have been developed and are ready to be deployed. I talked to you about BAHA. We started BAHA in 2007 under the leadership of Dr. Pawan Goenka. And since then, it is not moving, not looking back. Almost 17 years have passed, and the 18th edition of BAHA has been declared. We were very lucky that with the blessings of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, we started e-BAHA in 2015. And that was also towards one more supports towards electric mobility. And e-BAHA has given a lot of vehicles working in the field of electric mobility to automotive industry. And today, automotive industry and component industry in India and abroad have a lot of students who have worked on BAHA. So that's how BAHA has moved forward, and it has not stopped there. We have also worked on new technology like H-BAHA, that is hydrogen BAHA, and A-BAHA, that is autonomous BAHA. So when you talk about automotive industry, there are many technologies, and we need to embrace all the technology and try them. And when we talk about electric mobility, the next step to electric mobility would be ADAS, that is Advanced Driver Assistance System. And a further step to that would be autonomous vehicle. But whether it is ADAS or autonomous vehicle, it would be best suited if the base vehicle is an electric vehicle. And hence, electric vehicle becomes very, very important in the scenario when we want to adopt better technology like autonomous vehicle and ADAS. So when you look at the automotive engineering, your career, and if you want to make a very big career in automotive engineering, then there are various jobs. You join as a design engineer or a testing and validation engineer, and then eventually get promoted to a senior engineer, a manager, and a chief engineer, and then a general manager and a vice president. So that's how step by step you have to move forward by gaining knowledge, by joining a lot of training program and reskilling and upskilling yourself. You can move up the ladder. And you can move up the ladder by a pure technical path, that is BTech, MTech, and PhD, or a managerial path, initially BTech followed by MTech or followed by MBA. And you can maybe, if you do an MBA, then you can reach to the top much faster than if you go thoroughly through the technical path. As a technical path, you can become the fellow, technical fellow, that is the highest position. But as a managerial path, you can become the COO of the company or the managing director of the company. It depends on your aptitude, that whether you are oriented more towards management related work or whether you are oriented more towards technical work. And if you are oriented towards technical work, then doing a post graduation and PhD with super specialization would help, and you would become one of the very strong technical pillar of that organization. Okay. You can also do a mix of both, a techno managerial path. And so there are many successful managers who do MBA later on and lead a techno managerial path. So looking at the jobs, and if I compare an engineer who is working in IC engine area or an engineer who is working in EV area, the salary of EV engineer would be obviously higher than an IC engine engineer in today's scenario. So that's an opportunity by, even if you are not an EV engineer or an electrical engineer or an electronic engineer, you can still become an EV engineer by joining some part-time programs or a full-time one-year program. There are postgraduate certificate program, postgraduate diploma programs, and there are regular MTech courses which you need to undergo to have expertise in the full field of AV. And then you would see that as you move up the ladder, your salaries would grow much higher than what an IC engineer would do. So e-mobility is here, and there is a strong career path where we are saying that we have a market of 250 billion, which is eventually going to become as big as 2.3 trillion by 2030. And hence, we all are very lucky that we all are working in this field and we can harness the fruit of this evolution. Now I have around 10 slides left where I talk about where do you look for career opportunities in industry. So if I am an engineer and I have reskilled myself in the field of EV, then the best source is to work with OEMs, that is the Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturers members, that is two-wheeler, four-wheeler manufacturers, or the next step would be the component manufacturer or automotive component manufacturers association members who are manufacturing motors, batteries, and controllers, rectifiers, battery management system, and the peripherals. Then you can work with the dealers. There is a strong need of knowledgeable engineers with the dealers who can sort out day-to-day problem related to EV, because there is a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty among the buyers of EV, and they don't understand anything, and hence they need to go to the dealer and get all this sorted out. Then there is a very good scope of aftermarket, retrofitters, charging stations, and service workshop. So you can work on retrofitting EV kit, or you can have your own charging station, or you can work on swapping of batteries. And it is said that the electric vehicle are costlier than IC engine. And one day, probably, we will be able to buy electric vehicle without battery. And then the cost of such vehicle would be much half than that of an IC engine. And then you go to next door and rent out a battery and fit it in your car. And then it is the battery suppliers whose responsibility is to charge it regularly and service it and take care of it. You just have to drive every day an EV where whenever your battery gets discharged, you just go to the service station and change the battery. And that's what we call it as battery swapping, which can be done in a fraction of minutes and move ahead. You don't have to worry about charging. You don't have to worry about your range and so on. Then there are many engineering service providers who are supporting OEMs in the area of EV and allied industry. Then there are many consultants where you can work. You can work with this testing and certification agency like ARAI, ICAT, GARC, CRDI, Bureau of Indian Standard, NETREX. There are so many organizations. You can also work in manufacturing where you can make tier 1, tier 2 components, those chips or cells. You can also become a teacher, a professor in educational institutes and teach such subjects. Or you can do your own skill development. You can start your own training institute, or you can join various training institutes. So these are certain areas where there is a very good scope for career to work in automotive industry in general and EV in particular. If you understand what are the challenges, so EV has not got a very easy path. There has been many hindrances and there have been many issues and challenges. So I have noted down 11 such issues and challenges in e-mobility. like electric vehicle are costlier, it has a shorter range, it has a lack of charging infrastructure. And if we charge, it may take very high time. A fast charging may happen in half an hour, but a slow charging may take 4 to 5 hours. And there is a scarcity of ICs and magnets and lithium in India. So supply chain management is an area which we need to work on. Weather like rain and summer can affect EVs, and there are safety aspects that EVs can catch fire if the battery management system is not strong or the thermal management is not taken care of. Recycling and end of life of EV is another big question which we need to work on. And we also need to work in the area of skill development and awareness. So if you look at these challenges and try to say, okay, I will take care of this challenge and I will work in my specialization, those areas, then you can be specialized in that field, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is sale, whether it is skill development, or whether it is servicing. You can work in those areas. So ensure that you have more understanding about these 11 challenges and how to overcome them. So you can become a design and development engineer or test and validation engineer or a certification or homologation engineer. You can become a production manager or a sales and marketing guy or a charging infrastructure or a grid manager or a repair and maintenance guy or a safe recycling and disposal guy. Or you can work in the area of skill development and training. So these are various areas where you can work and make a livelihood. Here we are in the last slide where students and industry and academia have to work together. And when you want to work together, one of the major area is skill development. And through skill development, you can train more and more people in this field and support the electric mobility and in particular and automotive industry in general to do very good progress and make our country proud. So with this, I stop my presentation and I look forward for question answers from your side. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. It was indeed very helpful and insightful session. We have already got a few questions through the registration. So before that, if any of the participants have question right now, they can. And otherwise, I shall take the questions from them. So open for the question answer sessions. Participants, do you have any question?
Good
Yes,
morning.
sir.
My
I
name
have.
is Vinod Dwivedi,
Yes.
and I've got one or two questions to ask from Dr. Bora.
Yes.
Before that, it was very engaging session
Thank you.
and beautifully designed PowerPoint slides,
Yes.
and it was giving a lot of insights. My two questions are there. First questions are that what facilities we are having to train the people like technicians. I'm not talking about the engineers and the other people. I'm talking about the technicians.
Yes.
So what facilities are available? Number one. Number two, what we are doing to create trainers and master trainers.
Sure.
Because even we are having facilities, it's very difficult to get master trainers and trainers to train
Yes.
people.
Yes.
So these are two queries from my side.
Sure. So first, let me answer your first question about the technicians. Yes, overall, there is a very good scope for engineers to get trained, and there are a lot of courses, BTech and MTech and postgraduate diploma in EV. So that's a good scope. As far as technicians are concerned, Automotive Skill Development Council and the Department of Technical Education is working towards training of ITI and diplomas. That's a strong need to start ITI and diploma courses in the field of EV, right? So there has been a group who is working on this to re-look into the syllabus of ITI and diploma courses. And when it comes to skill development of such workforce, it has been seen that it is industry who is taking more responsibility than an educational institute. So if I am going to do production of automobiles and their parts, then it is in my interest that I take an ITI or a diploma engineer and convert them by giving enough skilling and training program in my organization, in my industry, so that he starts working in the field of the area where I am manufacturing. So this is what is happening today, and people are looking more towards engineer and postgraduates for training, and the masses are neglected. I really, you have a very good question, and we all need to work towards this. And ITI and diploma courses and training of skills at blue collar job has become very, very important. ASTC has developed various qualification packs for drivers, mechanics, and technicians. And there are many training organizations who have started working in this area who are giving training. Some of them are giving free training, some of them are chargeable, but there is a good scope. And many people from villages are coming forward to take training in this area. They have understood this important. So this gap between IT and diploma engineer and engineers and postgraduate needs to be filled up, and we need both type of people here. So that is going to happen. The second question which you talked about was trainers and master trainers. So Automotive Skill Development Council is also working on generating master trainers. I myself has been a master trainer in the EV and have given training to many trainers, professors who have to further teach such subjects, and trainers of various training institute who has to then do skill development further. So in case you are interested, you can get associated with us at ASTC, Automotive Skill Development Council. But there are many private players also, like say device electronics, who has been working in this field, P Manifold. ARAI is one such big organization who has an ARI academy, and they have been doing training for engineers. And but yes, I do understand that we need more efforts towards creating trainers, master trainers, and also towards diploma and technicians. Oh, I hope this answers your question.
Thank you very much, Dr. Vora.
Yeah.
In fact, these industries, particularly for electric vehicles, they are not very open. I have
Yes.
tried telco,
Yes.
and they bluntly refused even to see the training center. I
Yeah.
just requested them to visit the training center, that what facilities are available, but they refused at all. So they
Yes.
didn't know
Yes.
how to visit.
Yes. 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 I know there is a big gap between industry and academia, and industry is not open, but it is opening slowly, steadily. Industry is opening up when they understand that they themselves needs these people and they need support of academia and training institute. They will open up. So most of this industry are tying up with training and skill development institute, one or two. They are not open to all. But there are associations and MOUs signed between a training institute and the industry to take it forward. But industry also looks at this as their CSR activity, where they want more and more people to be trained in this area.
Thank you. Thank you. I'll connect with you later on.
Sure, sure. Most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Vinodji. Sir, we have questions from participants which I have received through registration.
Yes.
So one question is, sir, how to strengthen I mean their electronics and electrical side knowledge for the mechanical engineers, and vice versa for electrical electronics engineer, how to understand mechanical system, because ultimately they will be working on a vehicle and its
Sure.
functionalities.
Sure. Very good question, Manas. When you look at the entire automobile, it requires a multiple skill related to mechanical engineering, automobile engineering, electrical engineering, electronics engineering. Uh, and also computer engineering when we talk about connected and autonomous vehicle. And we also require civil engineers to make good roads and highways where this automobile works. So we require all type of skills together, and it is not possible for an individual to have all these skills together. So what has happened? So we need to do a bridge course. So whenever we do an EV related program, we divide the group in two parts. All those who are mechanical and automobile engineer, and all those who are electrical, electronics and computer engineer, we divide them in two parts. And this electrical, electronic and computer engineers are given a knowledge related to basics of mechanical engineering and automotive engineering. And those who are mechanical and automobile engineer are given knowledge to basics of electrical, electronics and computer engineering. And that's how both the parties learn the other area, and we try to bridge that gap. And then at a time comes when the entire class is in the same wavelength. This is a peculiar way by which we do this in every class, every training program, and that's very good. See, when it comes to the overall automobile, mechanical engineer plays a bigger role, but when it comes to various components like battery, BMS, or motor, or a wiring harness, then electrical and electronic engineers plays a major role. So both are very equally important, and it depends on how you take it forward. Fine.
Yeah. Yes. 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 Sir, a few questions. One question is already there from our participants. Krunal, you can please ask.
Yes, good morning, everyone. And sir, my name is Kunal Ramtege, and I'm currently pursuing my master's from VNIT.
Okay.
But sir, as my first year has ended, sir, there was very less hands-on practical upon EV. So
Yes.
means I currently also searched on LinkedIn and various platforms for internship and early opportunity. But sir, there are very few to means currently I am confused that how can I start my career in EV industry? Like
Okay.
where should I go? Like that,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So I will give you some tips where you can have hands-on experience or internship. Uh, First thing is you must go to LinkedIn and make connect with people from automotive industry. That is first area, and probably it may help you. Second area is you go to various portals. So there is a portal called Technovus, which is created by ARAI, where students, faculty, and startups go there. That is another area. Similarly, at IIT Madras, we have a portal called Kite. So you can become member of this portal like Technovus and Kite and Aspire by ICAT. And there are so many training program and internship program which are done through government. Government or Ministry of Industry fund this training program, or you can uh, join some garages and have real practical exposure. Don't worry about the stipend you get, but even if you work for 1 month in a garage which works in the field of EV, it would help you a lot to gain hands-on experience. Yes, when you talk about VNIT, there is a very good center of excellence in Nagpur, in VNIT Nagpur itself, where Dr. Kesri is leading. And I think you must go to Nagpur and meet Dr. Kesri and find out how can you get practical hands-on experience in his center of excellence. There are many educational institutes who have started now developing an EV lab. And one such EV lab is in Bangalore, which is at RV College of Engineering through Decibel Lab. Even device electronics is conducting a lot of training program. Manas, if you can give some throw some light on the programs being done through this. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So, Krunal, we have set up many colleges with the electric vehicle, facilities. I mean, testing facilities. There are facilities in Pune colleges also, in Nagpur also, as Sir said, and a few of them in Coimbatore and Chennai. And then we are also conducting workshops with the industry also, and institutes like this ARAI and other ASDC. I mean, with ASDC. So you can go and check with them. We also have, I mean, there are many on-job trainings kind of a thing where you can join in your, summer breaks or so on. So you can check out the device electronics and the some other courses which we offer, and you can have 1 month to 3 months kind of workshops, which gives 70% or 80% of the practical knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Yes,
There are
yes, sir.
also, sir, I would like to add the e-Baha and the M-Baha. So
Yes,
Baha's events are the one very really great opportunity to learn. I mean, you can join as a junior, and eventually in second, third year, you can become a senior member of the team, and you can learn, I mean, lot of things. So especially you get, each and everything you get to learn on your own, and you understand the concepts of the automotive functionalities and the features, motor, battery, and everything. So that is a really good platform. You should try, and that already gives you one step ahead, and one more achievement for the placements, which you can, the industry recognizes that particular achievement if you have in your resume.
yes, Krunal, but since you are
Yes, yes.
working, you are studying your master's program, you will not be able to apply for MBA or EBAHA, but you can apply for autonomous BAHA, where an electric vehicle is converted into an autonomous vehicle, and their postgraduate students are allowed. But you need to form
Okay.
your own team from your college and participate. So VNIT BTech students and you as an MTech student can join hands together and participate in autonomous BAHA. So that will give you entire knowledge of EV plus an additional knowledge of an autonomous technology.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But sir, currently means I'm only studying. Means I was working in Tata Power Solar, but I resigned from that, and I want to pursue my career in EV industry, sir. So I am just focusing on this topic now.
Sure, sure. We can talk offline and we can help you
Yes,
in
sir.
this area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Kunal.
Yes,
Sir, we have a question from Mr. Umit Sheikh, professor from PCCOE, Pimpri
Hmm.
Chinchwad College.
Hello,
Yes,
Sheikh
sir.
sir. How are
Sir,
you?
sir, fine, sir. So thank you
Yeah.
very much for the informative session on the employability
Yes.
opportunities in the EV sector.
Yes.
Sir, I have a small question that these engineering colleges like PCCOE also they are promoting this electrical vehicle
Yes.
sector. So we have
Yes.
this EV honors course separately, and
Yes.
we have many teams which take part in the SE Baha events like that. So, but there are certain difficulties like means development of the labs, etc. These are the costly affairs, and the
Yes.
equipments and all that required for the training for the electrical vehicle. Those are very costly. So we are trying
Yes.
to do our best. But what are there any government initiatives or some can say support from the government so that we can develop the required infrastructure for training the students?
Yeah, so you can partner with training organizations. For example, if you give space in your college to some of the training organization, they can come with their equipments and set up the lab there. So it's a win-win situation where they get free lab, free area, and you will be able to use those lab for your students, right? So, for example, I gave you this example where Decibel have set up a lab in RV College of Engineering, and that's a win-win situation. So if you want, we can connect you to some of the good training labs, EV labs, and you can open up a lab in your college. So that will be a very good symbiosis where each of you help to each other. We can talk about this offline.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Manas.
Thank you, sir.
For
Thank
the
you.
opportunity.
Sir, one last question from registrations we have got, sir. Uh, is it hybrid which should be coming first or all electric? Because the engineers who are not really willing to join electrical or electronics domain, and they and all those who are preferring a mechanical engineering and IC engine.
Ah,
So there is a slightly there is a dilemma for those freshers and the engineers who are already in the field, that whether they should change their discipline or the expertise, or they can continue with this because the EV, everyone is saying? And what will be the requirements of mechanical and other engineers if they are not willing to join the EV domain?
Okay, so I'll divide this question in two parts. One is EV versus hybrid, and another is EV versus IC engine. So India is a very cost conscious country, and in a cost conscious country like India, माने हम चाय पीने जाते हैं तो बोलते हैं कि आधा कप चाय दे दो, पंखा चालू करो, एक गिलास पानी दे दो, और न्यूज़पेपर भी दे दो, right? So that is our cost consciousness. So when India decided to bring electric mobility in India, from sustainability point of view, to ensure that the pollution reduces and greenhouse gases are reduced, we started with electric vehicle first because it is a cheaper mode of transport. You just require a motor, you don't require an engine. But when you talk about hybrid vehicle, you require a motor and engine together. And when you have motor and engine together, it becomes a costly affair. The cost of the hybrid vehicle is obviously higher than the cost of electric vehicle, and who would buy them? So with that justification, we started working on electric vehicle, but it has been proved that hybrid vehicle are more sustainable. It will have lower CO2 compared to pure electric vehicle. So we need to move towards hybrid vehicle. The cost will increase, but we will have to take it with a pinch of salt because we need to move towards sustainability. Second, there are problems related to charging, and if we use an hybrid vehicle, it can be self-charge. So our dependency on charging infrastructure will also reduce. Even though government is working very strong and has laid aside 1,000 crores of rupees for charging infrastructure, uh, this could be one of the route to move from EV to hybrid. That transition would happen eventually if we are able to produce equipments which are cost effective. So we need to work on mass scale, that is large production, and because of economics of scale, the cost will come down. And if we are able to dissociate the battery from the electric vehicle and sell only electric vehicle without battery and battery being on rent with swapping of battery, then it would be a much better proposition. So this is one area about EV versus hybrid. The second area, what we are talking about is the dilemma that I am a mechanical engineer, I am an IC engine expert, and what will happen to me? So for example, I'll give you my example. I am a pure mechanical engineer with my PhD in engine and emission and after treatment device. I don't know ABCD of electric vehicle when I started working on EV before 10 years. And slowly, steadily, I gained knowledge. And today I have also become an master trainer in the EV. Maybe if I go deep into a particular subject, I may not have any knowledge, but it is good to become a jack of all areas. So if you are an IC engineer, still it is very much required that you must understand the basics of EV. And when it comes to a hybrid vehicle, yes, engine would be still required. You may require a compact engine which can suit the EV or a hybrid vehicle. Also, it is very important, as I told you in the beginning, that India is a land of diversity. People with different religion and different language coexist. Similarly, various forms of energy will coexist. So alternate fuel like CNG, LPG, biodiesel, ethanol. For example, up to 20% ethanol and methanol we are planning, up to 10% biodiesel we are planning in diesel. So all this is happening. Meanwhile, we have also started working on hydrogen as a fuel, hydrogen for fuel cell application. All this work has also started. Government has already released Green Hydrogen Mission Mobility Plan in January 2023, understanding this. So parallelly, there are a lot of other technologies being developed. If you have a fear that you may not be able to sustain EV knowledge, then don't worry, start working in the field of hybrid and the hydrogen. But when it comes to the final end, what is important is we must have a sustainable mobility using sustainable energy. So the future is fuel cell and hydrogen, and where the mechanical energy is directly converted into electrical energy, right? And the vehicle moves forward. So this is very important to learn that you need to move more towards, not towards IC engine or electric vehicle or any area. You need to move towards sustainability and understand how can we make our world more sustainable, and which will require all of these things. So learning each of this area slowly, steadily will make you an all-rounder. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Yes. And one last question which we have received from the comment, Mr. Akshay Deshmukh is saying he has a land for a charging station and he has done his PGD in electric mobility after mechanical. So I guess what are the options to become or to develop a charging station? And as you said, Atmanirbhar Bharat or self-sustainability.
Yeah.
So again, as an opportunity in EV domain, that kind of a charging station business is also something which can help.
Yes, yes. So this is a good opportunity. So first thing is your charging station must be near a mall or a restaurant or where people can take some rest and can get occupied in their work. So please ensure that wherever you charging station you want to, there must be an ecosystem where people can sit down, have some food, or work on internet and so on, or see a movie. So you will have to develop an ecosystem if you want to make a good business out of charging system. So it's not just charging system, you are also developing other business models around it. So this is one area. Second area is if you want to work in this area, you can become a startup and take help of an incubation system and develop a charging system, or you can talk to Ministry of Industry where there is funding available. You can talk to all these petroleum industry, Bharat Petroleum and Indian Oil Corporation and HPCL, where they have also started working in this field. So in case you need more information on charging infrastructure, we can discuss offline and we'll see how we can help you in this area.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir. It was really great session. And now, sir, I have one very great thing to, uh, say, like, for example, the gyaniki, these are the initiatives for gyaniki, and I am excited to announce that for all the students we are giving 1 month free full subscription for gyaniki. And sir, as a token of appreciation to you, we are giving one full year subscription of free of cost. And maybe you can also guide us what are the things we can add more. So students who are available here, you can please join the Gyaniki. We are giving 1 month free full subscription. But if you want full year access, we are also giving this today the 5,000 rupees subscription for whole year and not a month. So whoever is interested right now today, they can subscribe it for the cost of 5,000. You can also tell this to your groups and friends. It is for all. For today's session, you can see the QR code and the link for subscription in the comment section. Okay. So Gyaniki also, conducts the trainings on EV, and as you want that those trainings can be on a discounted rate. And the Gyaniki Tech Talks, we are going to have the paid Tech Talks also, where it is. I mean, we are very thankful to Sir, and this kind of events we will continuously doing. So next session will be on 24th August, we are hoping. And sir, that will be, we had Arindam sir join here with us. So next session will be with Arindam Lahiri sir from ASDC. And he will be, guiding us on how skilling can be done for the industries, for the institution who are in the skilling already, and what sort of activities are being done by ASDC and under TNSDC, how we can, continue, because EV opportunities we are, generating. But if opportunities are there, we definitely need related skills right now. So that thing will be conducted. That Tech Talk will be in on 24th August, and our speaker and guest will be Dr. Arindam Lahiri. So saying that, sir, I again thank you very much for your valuable time. It will really help us. And this session will also come on our Gyaniki website. So directly, who have missed, they can check out on our Gyaniki portal and on the YouTube by next week. Yeah. So thank you all. Thank you everyone. You can do subscribe through the link there is a QR code, and please register for next gyaniki session. And thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.